Today's question comes from Liberty in Oregon. My husband and I just started FPU, and we want to pay off our debt fast. My husband recently asked if I would be willing to work some hours to contribute to our efforts. We have one child and are trying for another. Before we became parents, we decided I would stay home because having a full-time parent with our children was important to us. What's your opinion on family values versus paying off the debt quicker? Now, I'm really curious what you think about this, Anthony, because this is a values question. And when it comes to values, and Anthony and I give you guys advice on values, you're going to get our values. And those may not be the same. So I'm gonna jump in.
No. Go to you first.
Okay.
Go to you first.
So one of the things that I actually like helping people do, and I talk about it in terms of life balance, but I love helping people figure out what their values are and then live their life according to them. For example, if you build a business and you look at other people, how they do their businesses, and you structure yours the exact same, but it doesn't line up with your values, you're not going to enjoy your business because your business should reflect your values. Similarly, when we give you guys the baby steps, these are proven principles, but the speed at which you do them and your stage of life and what you're going through is going to be customized for you and your values. So when you say that you want to pay off your debt fast, Liberty, and you want to stay home because that's important to you, you're telling me two things you value and two things that are important to you. What I would say to you is you need to decide which is more important. Which is more important to you? Paying off your debt faster or staying home with your child in this season and then picking up the pace maybe when they're in preschool? I would argue, and I'm curious what you think here, Ao, I would argue there is not a right or wrong answer here because it's your values. But I will tell you, if you do something that goes against your values, you're going to be anxious and tense and frustrated. If it's really important to you to stay home in this season when you have little teeny kids and you're maybe have another baby on the way, and then you go work, you're going to feel a lot of angst. And at the same time, if you value paying off that debt faster, then being at home, you're going to feel antsy, like, hey, I need to do something. I need to contribute. And so I would say you have to decide which is more important to you. And it may be a blend. It may be something. That's why I love helping people start home-based businesses, because during nap time, you could be making some extra money on Etsy, and then you're doing both. So there are more options than you think. But I think it comes down to you deciding your values. What do you think, Ayo? When it comes to speed, not the baby steps, because the baby steps are proven, but the speed at which you do it.
I think the question should be asked to the couple. What is best for us moving forward? And I think that inside of that conversation, my personal opinion, we identify, okay, cool. Do we want to be out of debt so we can enjoy? Do we want to be out of debt quicker so we can enjoy you being at home, not feeling any pressure, not feeling anything with the kids? Or do we mind having a little bit of pressure while you're at home?
So are you saying the same thing I'm saying? Or are you?
No.
Okay.
No.
Of course not. Go on. Go on.
So what I'm saying is, for me, I'm having a conversation and I'm trying to respectfully convince my wife, if I'm in that situation, babe, I want you to go back to work.
I do not see that.
I do.
Really?
I feel like
if your wife came to you, and I'm not saying there's a right or wrong, because I'm pro you doing what's right for you.
Right.
But if knowing you, and how.
But now wait, how do I say this? I wouldn't be in this situation.
Okay.
So what I'm saying, but if I was in this situation, I am asking my wife if she's saying, hey, I really want to be out of debt. I want to have freedom. And I'm just thinking as a husband and as a father, I want my wife to be at home and to raise our kids. But I also want us to be at home and we don't have any pressure. We don't have any stress. And we know finances can be stressful. Yeah. And so I would have the conversation. Now my wife comes back and says, no, I want to stay home. Cool beans. I'm going to step up and I'm going to do everything I need to do to eliminate the debt so my wife can stay at home. So
if she said it's important to me to stay home,
yes,
you would support that.
Absolutely.
That's cool.
Absolutely.
That's cool. Yeah, we're tracking. We're on the same page. It's interesting too, because when we talk about parenting, when we talk about working, we talk about women working and how and where and when they work and what that looks like. This is a deeply personal issue. And so I would just encourage every woman listening right now, every family listening right now, every parent listening, it is really important for you and your spouse to have a conversation where you are on the same page, even if you have to wrestle through it, even if you have to go see a counselor to work through it, to be on the same page with this, because you can't look to people around you to tell you what you should do. You don't need to let your parents tell you what you should do. Your in-laws tell you what you should do. This is your life. It's your kids. It's your time. And I would say, as a mom of 3 kids age 6 and under, there is a season when they're little, and that season is very short and goes fast. Yeah. And so there are women that stay at home and think I'm crazy for working outside the home. There are women that work outside the home that, they wish they were home. There's so many different ways to do it, and you need to decide what's right for you, because this is your life. Yeah. And that's the only thing that matters, is what is right for you and your family. It's a great question. It's a great discussion, AO, because and you see it across cultures. It varies across regions, the North versus the South versus there's so many different ways to look at it. And there's a lot that affects it, but have that conversation with your spouse about what that looks like for you and how that affects how you approach the baby steps.
And also, let me say this too, Chrissy, because I want to make sure that we're saying this in a way to where everyone hears us correctly. Chrissy said it. There's no right or wrong answer here. All right. So if you are a couple and you all have kids and both of you all are working to pay off debt, that is good for you and your family. Now, if you're one of the couples and one of you are saying, no, I want to go home and do this. See, Chrissy said you should do this. Anthony said you should do that. Don't do that, because at the end of the day, you have to do what's best for you and your home. And as long as you and your spouse have a conversation, you all agree, stick to that. If you want to stay at home, mom, and the husband work or the wife works, doesn't matter. That's great for you. But just make sure you hear us. We're not saying one is better than the other. Well,
and the thing that I would add, I said this passively, but this is what I've spent the last 6 years doing. That's the reason I love helping women start businesses from home. Yeah. It's not that that's what you have to do, but if you want to, during nap time, you have a hobby, you want to turn into some income, you have a skill set, education, experience, degrees, you want to do consulting or freelance work or have an online business. That's why I started Business Boutique. That's why I have the Business Boutique book and the events and my coaching, because then it gives you a little bit more options of you're able to contribute financially if you want to and use your gifts, but also you get to stay home and work those hours around naps and what matters to you. The other thing I would add to this, AO, before we head out here is that this really applies whether we're talking about staying home or not, because we get this question on how fast do I pay off my debt, how gazelle intense I am. And, I know people that they have cut out their cell phone bill, their cable bill. They haven't, bought anything, not anything and that's how they get out of debt really quick. And that's cool. But I'm going to be honest, when I had my debt-free journey, I still had a cell phone. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I didn't go on vacations and stuff, but you decide the intensity that's right for you and how much you want to go all in for it, because it's your life and your financial journey.
Absolutely. I saw someone say something. Yeah, if you're going to get out of debt, you need to end your gym membership. I said, if I was in debt right now, I'm not ending my gym membership. That's just me. You have to do what's best for you. You can get gazelle intense, you can get gazelle focused, but your journey may look different from someone else's journey. As long as your mind is set that I am going to become debt-free by this time, that's the main focus of what we here at Ramsey Solutions are really suggesting. Have a goal. A goal is specific with a deadline, and do not be lazy with it. Have a strong, specific time of when you are going to get out of debt, and you and your spouse, or you by yourself if you're single, focus and do everything you need to do to hit that day, that date.
So good. It's a marathon, not a sprint. Pace yourself for the journey.